You never knew that honey never spoils and edible thousands of years. A sweet mystery of time. Deep in the arid sands of Egypt, within a sealed chamber untouched for millennia, a team of archaeologists unearths jars still capped with wax and sealed tight. Inside is a golden, viscous substance. It glistens under the flickering lamplight. It smells sweet, floral, and almost fresh. This is honey, made by bees over 3,000 years ago and, to everyone's astonishment, it is still perfectly edible. This isn't a myth. Honey's incredible shelf life is a scientific marvel, and its preservation in Egyptian tombs tells a story that blends biology, chemistry, culture, and history. Why honey never spoils. Honey's ability to resist spoilage comes down to three main factors. Low water content. Most microorganisms, including bacteria and fungi, require water to grow. Honey is only about 17% water for below the threshold needed for most microbes to thrive. High acidity honey has a pH between 3.2 and 4.5, making it acidic enough to inhibit the growth of bacteria and other pathogens. This acidity is partly due to gluconic acid, a byproduct of the enzymes bees use in honey production. Natural antimicrobial compounds. Bees produce an enzyme called glucose oxidase when making honey. This enzyme converts glucose into hydrogen peroxide, a mild antiseptic that helps keep the honey microbe-free. When you combine these properties with proper storage, a sealed container, minimal moisture intrusion, honey can last centuries without going bad. Ancient Egypt and the gift of honey. In ancient Egypt, honey was more than a sweetener. It was a symbol of prosperity, health, and divine favor. Bees were associated with the sun god Ra, and beekeeping was an honored profession. Honey was used for food, added to bread, cakes, and wine for flavor. Medicine applied to wounds for its antibacterial qualities. Rituals offered to deities and used in embalming processes. Pharaohs valued honey so highly that it was included in their burial goods, not just as a treat for the afterlife, but also as a symbol of eternal preservation, mirroring honey's own resistance to decay. Archaeological evidence. The most famous discoveries of ancient honey come from excavations of Egyptian tombs, including those dating back to the 18th dynasty around 1500 BCE. In these sealed jars, the honey had crystallized but was otherwise unchanged. Crystallization is natural and does not indicate spoilage. Gently warming the honey can restore it to liquid form. These finds have been widely reported because they are such a striking example of nature's chemistry outlasting millennia of time. Imagine a bee gathering nectar from a Nile-side flower in 1500 BC, and the resulting honey still being edible today. The science behind the longevity. The longevity of honey isn't tea magic. It has a perfect combination of bee biology and human storage practices. Bee contribution. Bees fan their wings to evaporate moisture from the nectar, thickening it into honey. They then seal the honeycomb cells with beeswax, locking out air and moisture. Human contribution. Ancient Egyptians stored honey in sealed clay jars, which, in the dry environment of a tomb, kept it safe from humidity and microbial contamination. Add in the naturally low microbial activity of honey, and you have a food that can outlast empires. Comparisons to other preserved foods. While honey is the record holder for natural longevity, it isn't the only food that can last decades or centuries under the right conditions. Dried grains, salt, and freeze-dried goods can also remain edible for long periods, but these require specific storage conditions and often lack the self-preserving qualities that honey has inherently. Honey is unique in that its natural state is already optimized for preservation, without need for additional processing. Modern uses of ancient knowledge today. Honey is still valued not just for its taste, but for its health benefits. Wound healing. Medical-grade honey is used to treat burns and skin infections. Cough relief. Recognized as an effective cough suppressant in children over 1 year old. Energy source. Easily digestible sugars make it a quick fuel for athletes. The ancient Egyptians may not have known the exact chemistry, but they understood honey's worth and kept it at the heart of their diet and medicine. Myths and misunderstandings. Some people think honey never spoils means it's immune to any kind of degradation. In reality, honey can ferment if exposed to excess moisture, or develop off flavors if contaminated. The key to its longevity is proper storage, airtight containers, cool and dry environments. Also, 3,000-year-old honey isn't something you'll find on grocery shelves. Archaeological samples are rare and preserved under very specific conditions. But the principle holds true. If you keep honey properly sealed, it could theoretically last for generations. What we can learn from the tomb honey. The story of honey in Egyptian tombs teaches us several broader lessons. Nature as a chemist. Bees have evolved a food product with built-in antimicrobial protection, something human scientists still study for inspiration. Value of preservation. Ancient civilizations understood the importance of food stability for survival, trade, and ritual. Cultural continuity. The same golden substance enjoyed by pharaohs is still a kitchen staple today. Interconnection of science and history. A single jar of honey can be a bridge between chemistry and archaeology. Final thoughts. In a world obsessed with expiration dates and best before labels, honey is a quiet rebel. It reminds us that some things crafted by nature and respected by human care can truly stand the test of time. The fact that a spoonful of honey made in the shadow of the pyramids is still edible today is not just a scientific curiosity, but a poetic symbol of endurance. So next time you drizzle honey over your toast, think of the bees in the Nile Valley, the careful hands that sealed the jars, and the incredible journey of a food that refuses to yield to the centuries.